Hi and welcome. I'm Naomi and I'm going to be taking you through your core power yoga today. So today it's slightly different from a traditional yoga class. We're much more muscle activation and muscle toning and growth than we are stretching. So it's a lot more strengthening focused. We will come down for a relaxation at the end though, so don't worry. It's not quite as intense as an exercise class. I still want you to listen to your body and to do what feels right for you. So don't push through anything. If it feels just way too much for your body, take a breather and join back in as and when you can. So today for your core power yoga, you will need a yoga block. If you don't have a yoga block, you can get a book, try and get a light one if you can, or maybe an empty Tupperware box. That's going to be your best bet because that will give you the same shape and about the same weight as well. So try and find yourself something now. Feel free to pause the video if you didn't have one already, and then we'll make a start when you're ready. So we're going to start by standing. We're literally going to dive straight in. We're going to start with the feet hip width apart. Take your block between your hands and start with the widest distance. The narrower we go, the harder it gets. So start with the widest distance for me. Lift those hands up. Spread the feet, the toes. Get those feet connected to the mat. We want the hips to square forward, and as you exhale, slowly rotate to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, exhale. So try to breathe in and out through the nose. So remembering this is still a yoga class, though we're more strength focused today. We are still doing a yoga class, a yoga sequence. So we've still got that conscious movement. So those hips are really, really squaring forward. As you rotate the torso, the hips stay forward. One more time to the left. Keep going, really nice. And inhale to center. Then place the block between the thighs. Squeeze the block in, lift the hands to the sky. Same thing, but this time we're squeezing the block. So we're going to recruit the lower abs a little bit more. Keep that squeezing. So you're also going to be activating the muscles of the glutes, the inner thighs, so the adductors. Hips square forward, turn to the right. Inhale to center, exhale, turn to the left. Really nice. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right, squeeze those inner thighs, don't give up on me. And then twist to the left and to the center, beautiful. You can keep the block between the thighs if you can. Bring the hands to the mat, shuffle back to downward facing dog. So your feet are hip width or as close to hip width as you can get with that block between your thighs. The hands are shoulder width apart. And we're extending back into our downward facing dog. If you need a gentle bend and soften of the knees, then go ahead, stretch out through the backs of the legs. We're going to move straight into a plank. So shift forward, keep that block squeezing in all the time. Trying to imagine you're trying to deform that block. You're trying to squish it. Roll forward, push back. Really nice. Roll slowly forward. Use control. The more control you have in these poses, in these flows, in our sequence today, the more you're going to use your core. So your core it's critical for stabilizing the body. So as we transition through flows, our core has to switch on to help keep us nice and stable. So as you come forward, you'll feel that your core is switching on. You'll also probably feel the inner thighs a little bit too. We're going to go for 3 more. Come forward, push back, keep it going, keep that block squeezing in, and remember your breath. It's going to be easier now to remember your breath than it is later when we're working even harder. So remember your breath now. Push back. And this time come forward to plank. From here, bend the knees, push the hips back. Floating child's pose. Forward to plank. Push back and forward. So we're just gearing up now the rest of the body. The shoulders and the quads particularly. Getting them going. We've got 2 more. Hips back. Launch forward. Last one. And forward, beautiful. Drop the knees to the mat. You can remove the block if you want. You can even place it under the forehead for a brief child's pose if that feels good for you. Maybe you don't want the block, you can just take it an inch further forward, stretch it out. And find your breath again. In between our poses, in between our flows today, really try to find your breath. It's going to really help you to stay in that yogic state of mind rather than shifting into really, really crazy exercise class. Tuck the toes, push the hips up and back. This time, gaze between the hands. Step the right foot forward and pick up your block. So you want to be coming into a lunge. Lift your block up. Lower the block out in front of you to shoulder height. From here, rotate to the right. Inhale to center. Lift the arms up. Arms to shoulder height. Rotate. You've got it. You're going to be shifting and balancing, but as you wobble, that's when that core kicks in. And we're not just talking the abdominal muscles when we mention the core. We're talking the whole lot. We're talking all the way from your mid-thigh to the top of your shoulders. That's your functional core. That's the core that really helps you with your balance. Keeping going. To the right, to the center, and lift. Last one, come out. Twist. Forwards. Place the block down. We're going to come to it in a second. Step back to downward facing dog. Gaze between the hands. Step the left foot through. Pick up your block. Go for the widest side again. Lift up those hands. Find your high lunge. Hands down to shoulder height. Twist to the left. Forwards and up. Really nice. So you know where you're going now. So now you can really focus on that rotation. So as you rotate, you really, really want to be using the muscles. So we're not just going half-heartedly, oh yeah, done it. We're really, really going for it, twisting as far as we can. Whoop, I nearly lost my balance. Bring the hands down and out. We've got one more after this. Lift up, hands to shoulder height, twist, and to center. Place the block down, step back to downward facing dog. Exhale, sigh it out. Let all of the abdomen go. Let it soften for a moment. And then drop the knees to the mat. Cross over the ankles, grab your block and just rock over so that you're sitting on your sit bones. We're going to come into some boat variations. So if boat is enough for you, you can just do normal boat. If you want that extra burn, grab your block. So we've got option one. You can keep the feet on the ground. We're lifting the hands up. We're lowering them to shoulder height. We lift and we lower. And as you lower, try not to get closer and closer to the ground. The closer you get to the ground, we're just not keeping our muscles, we're not keeping our spine nice and long. So try to stay in your boat pose. Lift the shins, lift the hands. Are we ready? Lower out, lift up, lower and lift. Keep that core going. You can do it. Lift and lower. We've got 5. Keep going. We've got 4. Really nice. If you need, place the feet down. If you can, keep them lifted. Go for yours. And we've got 2. We've got 1. Really nice. Keep those feet lifted if you can. Come to Russian twist. So squeeze the block and rotate side to side. If you need to place the feet down, then you can. We're going for 10. 9. Use your breath. So exhale, inhale to center. Exhale, inhale to center. Keeping going for 4. For 3. Keep those feet nice and high. For 2. And for 1. Beautiful. Cross the legs over. Reach forward. You can keep the block between the hands and lengthen into a gentle forward fold. Inhale, slide it all the way up. Lift the hands and breathe. And then just release the block out in front of you. We're going to come down to laying on our backs. So shuffle the hips a bit further down your mat and then pick up your block, lay down onto your back. So just find yourself with that lower back nicely nestled into the ground. So options, we're going to start with a bridge. So bring your feet to the mat, bring the block between your thighs. You want it the narrow side. So you want the feet about hip width apart. Walk the feet a tad closer to the heels. The feet a tad closer to the hips, not the heels. Your heels are as close to your feet as they possibly can be already. When you're ready, option 1, keep the hands beside the body. Option 2, lift the hands up for more recruitment through the body. So we're lifting those hips. We squeeze. We're going to hold. So squeeze your glute bridge. We're holding and we're squeezing that block in. We're releasing down. So this may not be your conventional ab work that you might get in a core exercise, but we're using the glutes here, which are just as much a part of our stability core. They're really essential for our yoga practice. So we're working on the core that will help us in our yoga practice. Lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and hold. So we're doing a hold, then we're lifting and lowering for a few, and then we're doing another hold. We've got 2 more sets. Lower down and lift, lower down and lift. Think about that slow and control. We're not rushing. Lower and lift one more time, and then hold on the lift. Squeeze the glutes. Remember, we're not rushing. Hands can be by the side if that feels better for you. Remember to breathe. Lower and lift. We've got 1 more, so keep going for 4 squeezes. Lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, lower. This time when you get to the top, squeeze and hold for 5. Really good. For 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Beautiful. Place those hips down, straight to the next one. No rest, I'm afraid. Take the block into your hands, and you want it the widest distance, and you want to wiggle it so that your fingertips are at the edge of the block. You don't want your palms on the block. We need as much length as we can possibly get for this one. And this is a fun one. Draw the knees in, lift the shoulders, wrap the block around, lengthen the legs out. Draw the knees in, hug the block to the chest, lengthen the legs, and then go again. So we're doing that little cycle. We wrap, we lengthen, keep it going. Just doing as many as you can. Keeping control of the block, keeping control of the movement. So the shoulders stay lifted. They lift a little more as you wrap around the feet, perhaps. Keeping going, really nice. You nearly there? Yes, we are. Keep going. We've got 3 more. Keeping going for 3. You can do it for 2. Have a little fun for 1. Woo. Bring your block back around. How are we all doing? Okay, so we're going to take our block between our knees. Lift your hands up. And then from here, lengthen away. Pick it up, take the block, lengthen away. So you may want to take the block between the shins if that feels good. So we lengthen between the shins, we bring the hands to meet. We take the block, the hands take the block. Then we place it between the shins and we lengthen. So we're just alternating. And it's going to feel quite tough after those exercises we've just done. Keep it going. Really try to keep the whole of the back on the ground. If your lower back is lifting, if you're not able to keep that contact, then decrease the amount that you extend your legs. And that'll help you maintain that integrity in your spine. Keeping going, really nice. Squeeze the block. We've got 1 more. Take it between the hands and lengthen. Take it between the shins, lengthen, and draw it in. Just place the block down to one side. We're done with that block now. Just sway slightly side to side, hug the knees in, and breathe for a moment. Just let it go. Whew. Beautiful. Inhale, when you're ready, roll up and come to seated. Inhale, lift the hands up to the sky. Exhale, twist to the left. Take the right hand onto the left knee. Take the gaze behind you. Sit up nice and tall. Exhale, soften into your twist. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist the other way. So we're just stretching out now. Finding ourselves a little bit of stretch. A little bit of peace and quiet after that little ab blast. Twisting back to center when you're ready. And just rocking forward. Lowering your body down to the ground. You can come down through knees, chest, chin, or you can just flop if that feels more appropriate. Press the tops of the feet to the mat. Connect the palms into the earth. Wrap the elbows in. Lift the chest. Come into your cobra pose. So we're stretching out through the front of the body now. Just releasing through the abdominals a little bit. Exhale, lower release. Either taking cobra again or shifting the hands an inch further back to the hips. Lifting through the arms. Lifting into upward facing dog if it's in your practice. If it's not, then stick with cobra. If you're happy in upward facing dog, make sure to squeeze the glutes. Make sure to stay strong in your chest, strong in your shoulders. Exhale wherever you are. Take the big toes together. Take the knees just about the same distance as the ribs. And then bring the hips back to the heels and rock into your child's pose. Breathe and soften, relax, let go. Just enjoy that stretch. Rock up to all fours. I'm just going to mobilize and stretch out a little bit. Inhale to cow. The belly button drops, the hips and the shoulders lift. Exhale, round through the spine, gaze between the knees. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Take one more cycle. Inhale, open the chest, lift the tailbone, lift the gaze slightly. Exhale, round. Then take the big toes together and wiggle your way back to child's pose. If you want to use that block for a little bit of pleasure now, then you can take it under the forehead or perhaps between the hips and the heels if you struggle to get the hips back to the heels. Breathe in, exhale, sigh it out, let it go. And as you do, allow the abdominal muscles to relax. Really try to bring an element of softness into every inch of your body right now. And just settle here for a breath. Release in. Allow all of that energy that we've created, all of that fire, to settle evenly in your body now. Remembering this is a yoga practice. Although it's strength focused, we are still doing yoga. Yoga is the union of the mind and the body. Yoga means union, unity. So whatever that means to you here, just bring that into your mind. And find that unity, find that connection. Particularly after a fast-paced class like that, the mind, the breath, the body, that unity, that is what draws us back into our yoga. If we did go a little bit into our exercise mode, that brings us back, that unity of breath and body. When you're ready, walk or wiggle your way up to kneeling. Inhale, reach the hands up high to the sky. Stretch it out. Reach the fingertips together. And then release the hands alongside the body. Bring the palms together at the chest. Just close the eyes for a moment. Just pause and breathe. Drop the chin to the chest. Blink open the eyes. Allow the light back in. And slowly lift the gaze. Namaste. So thank you so much for joining me for your class. I hope that you feel strong and energized and uplifted, maybe a little bit sweaty too, definitely warm. Have a lovely rest of your day and feel free to join me on another one of my videos or subscribe to stay up to date with any new videos.